We are in Sweden right now, and I'm going to flip this around so you can see. This is so we came over from Denmark to Sweden for the day. Those are my girls. They're here with me, and not all of my girls, but those are two of them. And this is this is what Sweden looks like. This part of Sweden, anyway. And we're looking for food, and sushi and Japanese food. You like Japanese food? Let's look at the menu. Vietnamese rice, tempura chicken. You know what? Japanese food is usually really good. Yeah, let's do it. Let's eat in here. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Hello. You have a menu? Oh, this is all your stuff. Okay. Do you have anything with teriyaki? Maybe teriyaki chicken or something? Yeah, chicken with teriyaki sauce. You have that? Okay. Yeah, I wanted something with teriyaki chicken and rice and some vegetables with it or something. Okay, I like that. Yeah, and then whatever they want. Hey, good morning, Justin and Vic. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, so while they cook my food, I'm gonna take you guys outside so you can see a little more sweet. We're about to throw down on some food. Hey, give me that orange Fanta. Hold on, guys. I'll be right outside. Young reborn mommy from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. How are things in North Carolina? So, uh, did I learn some Japanese? No, I did not. I know a little Chinese. Uh, Wo Kui Shuo Idian Putangwa. That's my way of saying I can speak a little Mandarin. Or Ni Kui Shuo Putangwa Ma. That means, do you speak Chinese? That's about as far as my Chinese vocabulary goes. I tried to learn it when I was back. I was on the faculty at Syracuse University. I spent time. I would drive to work every day and listen to Chinese audio tapes, and I picked up some stuff because I wanted to go back really bad, and I did go back. But that is a tough language to learn. It takes a lot of time, and so maybe I should have stuck with it. Anyway, let me show y'all a little bit of Sweden. This is we're about to eat at this Japanese restaurant. The food looks pretty good, right? And here, the one thing that's different between Europe and the United States is you look at all these bicycles and scooters and stuff like that. They really incentivize people here to stay healthy. The United States doesn't do that. The United States wants you to get fat so they can sell you medication for obesity. And whereas here, they provide all kinds of tax incentives to keep people healthy, to protect the environment, things like that. Like they try to incentivize you to not drive a car and to take public transportation. They have a really good public transportation here. The trains are, they run a lot of trains in a lot of places across all of Europe, and they're very clean and efficient and fast. Whereas the United States, we got old raggedy ass Amtrak that's way outdated. Me and my wife went on the Amtrak ride from Chicago to Seattle so she could run a marathon, and the train kind of broke down on the way out there. So anyway, and then on top of that, the food is definitely healthier. And look around. I want y'all to look around for a minute, okay? And I want you to find a fat person. Okay, find a person that looks just sloppy fat. What do y'all think? Let's play find the fat boy. Can anybody see any person that looks, you know, like they really extra pudgy? What about that guy? What about him, the guy on the scooter? What about these two guys? What do y'all think? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can you find the fat person? Where's the obese person? Because I can guarantee you that if I was in the United States, oh, somebody said behind the camera. Oh, damn, that was cold. See, I'm gonna have to look you in the eye and say that was just mean. You hurt my feelings, man. That's mean. Anyway, I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm in Malmo. The town's called Malmo. But seriously, look around. I want you to find the fat person. There aren't that many fat people in other countries. Obesity is a um, what's the word? It's a genocidal curse put on the American people. Millions and millions of people die from obesity related illnesses and complications. And then when the pandemic started, all they did was they told fat people just get this shot so Pfizer can make $20 billion. That's what they said. They didn't say nothing about healthy eating. They didn't say nothing about exercise. All they said was get this shot. Do y'all understand? Do you understand what? Unfortunately, I'm not anti-capitalist. I'm not. But I'm definitely not pro-capitalist because capitalism, causes really bad incentives. And so what I would say to you is, while these countries are not perfect, so I see somebody mentions that it doesn't look integrated. No, it doesn't. Honestly, integration is overrated anyway. I think. I don't think, you know. I talked to a brother from Somalia on my way over here, and we spent a lot of time. Um, this brother's his name was Muhammad, and we spent a lot of time talking about family culture. And he said Americans. He wasn't being critical, but he said, you don't understand family. He said they deliberately break down families. They do it around the world. In Australia, the Aboriginal families, they broke down the families in the United States. They broke down your families because they weakened you. They made you weak. And he talked about how he raises his 6 children. He has a wife. He said, I met my wife. I married her 2 weeks later. After 2 weeks after I met her, we have 6 children. All the 6 of his children, he drives a cab. All 6 of his children are graduating from college. They're engineers, doctors, lawyers. They work hard. And he says, I teach them to love each other and to really be loyal to each other. And we were talking about, topics from my book. That's what I talk about in my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, that the source of your power is your family. So the reason they deliberately break down your family is because they do not want you to have power. They deliberately make sure that you are so powerless and weak that you then have to turn to the government, you have to turn to white people, you have to turn to corporate America, you have to beg for people to take care of you, because you're the single mom who can't afford to take care of her kids because the father is only God knows where, or maybe you've decided you don't need the father around, or because you are the black man, the black woman who was horribly educated, horribly educated. Now somebody said they're starving in Somalia, right? So if starving people can understand the concept of family, then don't use your economic condition as an excuse to not man up and take care of somebody. Seriously, seriously, they might be starving in Somalia. That's true. He talked about that. He talked about how much oil they have in Somalia. He said they have lots of oil, and I think it was uranium, and they have the best ports. And he said that the Arabs deliberately create conflict with Al Shabaab and stuff like that so they can control the oil. He said, now I don't know if this is true. He said, and I have to look this up, that Somalia has more oil than Saudi Arabia, but I don't know if that's true or not. I can't confirm that. But he said that because there's so much oil, they want to create conflict and chaos amongst Somalians so they can come in there and keep on making their money. So ultimately, I believe that there are also people who deliberately create conflict and chaos amongst the black community so they can keep extracting resources from you. Maybe you don't have oil, but you have talented athletes, you have talented entertainers, and notice how all this money ends up in the hands of other people. Do you understand? Do you notice that? Does anybody else notice that, or is it just me? Am I the only one who's talking about this? So effectively, you just have to kind of understand that the game is played all over the world and it's played at a very high level and it's designed in such a way to make sure that you remain powerless, struggling, and angry at each other and going through all kinds of nonsense. So, how are people treating me here? They're treating me very well. I mean, I haven't had anybody. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every person's happy to see me, and I'm not saying they don't have racism in other countries. They do, but racism just doesn't scare me. I don't give a shit if you want me around or not. I want me around. I'm the elephant in the room in my mind. I don't you're gonna respond to me. I'm not responding to you. I don't care if you're inviting me into the space. I have to decide if I want to invite you. So when I'm around white people, I don't look to see if they want me there. I don't need to be loved by anybody. They not at least not people that I don't care about. So you don't spend your life trying to be loved by your adversary or being loved by your oppressor. Who cares if your oppressor loves you? If your oppressor loves you, that's not good for you. That's not a good thing anyway. They probably love you because they're exploiting you. So my position is to be real simple, guys, is, you know, don't worry about what people think about you. As far as I'm concerned, these people could all be given looking at us cross-eyed. A black man and two black girls with braids riding scooters all around Sweden. Like, who are those people? Why are they here? Who let those people in? I don't care. I don't even look. I don't even look in. I don't even look in. You look in the eye long enough to even know if you care, if you want me there or not. You understand? You got to love yourself. Self-love is very important because if you learn how to love yourself, you won't sit around wondering if white people love you. That is a mental illness that you've been infected with because you somehow think that their validation of you makes you more human, and it doesn't. You are somebody. You were somebody before they acknowledge you. They don't need to see you for you to exist. Let me see here. Boyce, your head might get tilted in Europe. I don't have any idea what that means. Are you coming to Stockholm? Stockholm? No, I'm not. I am I am here in Malmo, and then I'm going to go back to Copenhagen, and then I'm going to go to a small town in Denmark for a couple of days, and then I'm going to head back home. My wife will be joining me in a few days, so I look forward to that. Let's see here. Next question. The cloning of Tyrone. Let's see. Family is power. Yes, it is. Even Asian people and other ethnic groups in the U.S. who maintain their cultural diet are not obsessed. It's the sad diet that is highly contributing factor to obesity. Yeah, I agree. And one thing that was funny too, I don't know if this is true or not, but remember, Europeans are not perfect. Europe is a better country than America, but Europeans have their own issues. One thing the Somalian guy brought up, Mohammed, who was our cab driver, and I agree with him. He said that he said that in Denmark, he claimed, I got to look this up. He claimed that there's 5 million people, 5.4 million people in Denmark. 1.7 million of those people are on antidepressants. 1.7 million. So think about this. That's like, what's that about? That's more than 25%, according to him. I got to double check. Of the people in Denmark are so depressed that they have to take pills just to feel normal. And he believes that the reason for this could be connected to the fact that people are isolated. They don't have family love. So what they do is you kick your kids out at the age of 18. They go off to college. They're depressed. They're lonely. They're struggling. They don't know what to do. I don't know if this is true. I'm gonna go confirm this and double check this, but I found that really fascinating. So what this has led me to conclude is I think we have to really rethink what family actually looks like. What does family look like? And when I think about family, I just think of it as a group of people that love you, that are on the same code as you, right? And so, like in our movie, Being One the Movie, we talk about being on code with the people that matter to you. You can't be on code with everybody. Every black person is not going to be on code with every other black person, but you got to find your people and get on code with those people, and that becomes your family. So at the All Black National Convention, I tell people, look, I know you come from trauma. I know you come from broken families. I know you come from crazy situations. Find your family here. Find your long lost cousin here. Find your next your next true love here. Find the next person you can do business with here. Because if you get on code and you operate by a code, then you can be successful. Okay, so this was fascinating. My conversation with Muhammad really. So being in Europe kind of just shows me up close what an efficient economy looks like, where you incentivize people to preserve resources, to protect the environment, to eat healthy, and to exercise, right? So I've seen that from Europe, and I actually like that. I haven't seen a single homeless person since I got here. I've been here several days. I've traveled all around. I haven't seen one single homeless person. Now I want y'all to give me a yes or no. If I go to New York City, how do you think I'm going to see a homeless person within the first 10 minutes of walking through New York City? Yes or no? If I walk through Chicago, am I going to see a homeless person within the first 10 minutes of walking through Chicago? If I go to Seattle, am I going to see a homeless person within the first 10 minutes of walking through Seattle? I've been here for several days. I have not seen one single homeless person. I'm sure they're around, but I have not seen them. So what I'm saying to you is that Europe has taught, being in Europe reminds me of what it means to run an economy where you actually care about the children, where you're actually educating children, where you care about the citizens, where you're encouraging them to be healthy and not die at an early age. I saw an article, I shared it. Go look on my Instagram. My Instagram's Dr. Boyce Finance. Dr. Boyce Finance. I put an article up just this morning on Instagram at Dr. Boyce Finance. I want you to read that. It's from The Economist. And they literally, the title of the article is that Americans are dying at an alarming rate. And what they talked about was fentanyl. They said that drug is so pervasive right now that it's killing people like crazy. And the reason the government isn't stopping it is because there's so much money being made by these pharmaceutical companies and prescription drugs and everything else. Capitalism is killing people in America. In other countries, I'm not saying that they don't have drug problems in other countries. By far, it exists everywhere, but they're not. It's just not that bad. Like I'm not gonna turn around and like if I had to, if you gave me $100,000 to find a homeless person within the next 20 minutes, I would not be able to collect that money. Do you understand? I would not be able to collect that money. If you get, so what I would say to you is that there are other countries in the world that live different. I encourage you to travel to those countries. The money that my wife spent $500 on her ticket to Denmark, $500. That it don't cost that much to go to the Essence Fest. So don't say that you can't afford to go. Your mindset might make you think that you can't, but you can afford this, okay? And your children, you need to get a passport for your kids, okay, so they can see other societies. So being in Europe shows you what an efficient society looks like. Talking to the driver from Somalia reminded me of what family loyalty looks like. What happens when you have a strong family unit with a man that truly loves a woman and a woman that's truly loyal to a man. They're not deciding to stay married based on feelings. They're not saying, "Well, I don't love you anymore, so I'm divorcing you." He said it's not about your feelings. It's about maintaining the structure of the family. It's about doing it for your children. And so but still the foundation is love. He said, I teach my children to love each other, and that makes them loyal to each other. I love my children. That's why I work so hard. And as a result, all six of his children are very successful. You don't have the same problem that you have in Chicago, where most of the kids graduating cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot do math. Chicago has 55 public schools that do not have a single child that can read, write, or do math at grade level. Did you hear what I just said? Chicago has 55 public schools that do not have a single child that can read, write, or do math at grade level. That is a problem. So I encourage you to sort of think about these things because if you do what everybody else is doing, bad things will happen for you and your family. You have to sort of think outside the box. So I encourage you to travel to be able to do that. I got to go. My food is ready. It was great talking to y'all. Here is Sweden. Here's a little bit of a view so you guys can check it out. This is the area that I'm in. I'll check back in a little bit later. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I go live. I think my channel shadow banned because I don't know how you can have 400,000 subscribers and only a few people get notified. So if you want to be notified, hit the notification bell or just come back and check the channel periodically, and you'll probably see new content every time you come back. Also, if you want to get, I'm gonna send out a profit alert on the stock that I'm gonna buy in a couple of days, or probably by the end of the weekend. So if you want to get the profit alerts sent to you via text, just text the word stock, STOCK, text stock to 31996. And also my website's boycewatkins.com. So that's where you can get a copy of my book. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. And tonight I'm going to actually speak at Andre Hatchett's Black Men and Wealth Conference. And his website is blackmenwealth.com. It's virtual, so I'll be doing that from Europe. But it's blackmenwealth.com. So feel free to go check that out if you're a brother and you want to, or you got a son or an uncle, nephew, etc., and you'd like to learn about wealth. I will be speaking tonight. I think about 4 o'clock, something like that. All right. God bless you. See you later. Have a good day. Peace.